Hey, it's Keith Townsend from the CTO Advisor again. We're creating more great content, having more interviews with industry luminaries. Speaking of industry luminary, I have Michael Krigsman, industry analyst and host of
CXO Talk.
CXO Talk. So we're at Sapphire 2019, and the Qualtrics is the name of the company that they acquired. SAP acquired.
Yeah.
$8 billion, and it showed yesterday and today. They talked a lot about customer experience or the experience-driven business. SAP is pretty good at coming up with these names for business decisions. Are you on the same page as SAP, and am I on the same page as you on what this actually is?
Okay, so let's try to figure this out. Let's
Okay.
parse. So first off, yes, they paid all of this money for Qualtrics, and it is showing because this entire show, Sapphire, is built around that with a little bit of touch of HANA because everything that
everything has to have Everything has to have HANA, right? Right. If it has a database, it's going to have HANA.
Now, the first thing is, so they're talking about Xdata and Odata, so customer experience data mixed with operational data. I think the beginning point is customer experience. I personally think customer experience is extremely important, and I see it as the next evolution beyond digital transformation.
Right.
So we've now descended heavily into buzzword territory. And so let me.
I won't say double click. I won't say we'll double click on it.
Okay.
So.
All right. So let me tell you why I think customer experience is so important. First off, let's begin there. So with digital transformation, the notion transformation says that we're shifting states. We're shifting from one thing to another. And that transformation really is, with digital transformation, is becoming comfortable, an organization becoming comfortable with what that shift to digital requires, what it implies, not just for marketing, but across the company.
Exactly.
And a lot of that has to do with rethinking our operations based on what's best for the customer.
So with that in mind, can we posit that if you're either in the midst of digital transformation or you kind of come to the end of your digital transformation and you're kind of steady state digitally transformed organization, do we inherently get Xdata as an output of digital transformation, or is Xdata something that we have whether we're digitally transformed or not?
It's a really good question. So I think what happens is this. Okay, this is my own thought here.
Mm-hmm.
That as you're going through the digital transformation process, you are naturally going to be placing the customer in the center, thinking about your business model. How does your business model affect your customers?
Right.
Okay. As part of that, ideally, you're listening to customers, right? You're not doing this in a vacuum.
Exactly.
So if we use SAP language, then you are, in fact, through the act of listening, you're getting that Xdata, that customer experience data. Now, what I think this Xdata inside the SAP world means with this whole big acquisition is to systematize it. Okay, so rather than having a feel, well, yeah, we're doing better with our customers, and we can see, for example, that our website engagement is higher.
Whatever metrics we've used in the past, and evidently they don't work because the Qualtrics VP came on stage and said yesterday, 80% of the CEOs think that they're meeting customer expectations, and only 8% of the customers believe that they're getting the experience they think they should have. So there obviously this old way of measuring customer satisfaction and customer experience isn't working according to SAP.
Yeah, by the way, that stat, I could be wrong, but I believe, because I once did a presentation on this, I believe that it comes from Bain going back years.
Okay, so this may not be a modern stat.
So I think it's a real stat and an important stat, but it's not necessarily a new concept.
Right.
So what SAP call that the experience gap. So I think the issue here is, and this is kind of the crux of the matter. Okay, so as an organization undertakes its operations, all the various processes and so forth, how can we, in effect, instrument our processes to get this feedback, this experience feedback data on a very large and broad scale?
Right.
So it's not just a matter of looking at our website traffic or website engagement, which is part of it, but that's only a tiny piece. So it's really looking, so for example, it's looking at employee engagement, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Your internal employees. How happy are they? How are they? What are the signs that an employee is happy or an employee is not happy? We call that employee experience, for example.
And it would be nice if at the end of this we have a common taxonomy across CX experiences. So, a customer experience measurement in manufacturing should be the same as a customer experience rating in arts and entertainment. Ideally, this is a fairly new concept to me, so I'm not sure if I can stretch my mind to how that works. Have you kind of given that any thought of how that would work across industries? If we put science behind it, can we apply it across industries? SAP, I think, would tell us yes, but what's your kind of gut?
My gut feeling is if they can do it, it's a great thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because then if you have a common metric, so you can say, well, the customer experience index for employees is whatever.
Right.
The customer experience for our manufacturing folks is whatever, and our external customers. And if you can somehow normalize it to a standard scale, then it means that you can make comparisons across these very different domains, very different industries, even very different processes, and have a meaningful comparison.
And then from a CXO perspective, now you can measure CXO performance across organizations. It's not just based off of financial performance, but overall customer satisfaction. What's that one score in technology that we all use? The
Net promoter score?
Yeah, the promoter score.
Yeah.
Like that. What does that really even mean? That's a weird metric, but it's an attempt at that to say, okay, this product, Apple has a net promoter score of X, Oracle has a net promoter score of Y. Can those two equally be compared? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. I think, and that is the value of the two values of net promoter scores. Number one is what you were just saying. You can compare it across companies, across industries, and they would say that it's a great comparison. Of course, on the other hand, you're just asking one single question, and how valid is it? So we could say that it's a good general indicator.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you take this Xdata as SAP is talking about it, it goes from being ideally the theory as they present it, or the marketing is, and maybe it's true, I haven't looked at it closely enough yet, but the theory is that you now have this extremely rich set of data that is coming in from all kinds of different directions, and you weave it into the operational data. And so we know that there's weakness with customer service in this area, and our employees have an issue over here, and this is correlated to our defect rate over here, and our manufacturing rate, and that's affecting our ultimate customer satisfaction because there's impact on delivery rates. And so you integrate this experience information with the operational processes, and good things happen.
I know management consultants have to be really excited because if this takes off, this is a whole new discipline for them to how do they fix certain areas of weakness which are identified, measurable, and they can come in with their pivot tables.
I have to tell you, I've spoken with some management consultants here from big companies. Oh yeah, they're very excited.
I'm a reforming PwC management consultant, so I can just imagine the pivot table. I can feel the frameworks and processes as a result. So CXO Talk, how do we find it?
CXOTalk.com.
That's really easy. And do you tweet?
I tweet a lot at M. Krigsman.
So, Michael, I really appreciate you joining. You can find me on Twitter at CTO Advisor. You can find this and other content at thectoadvisor.com. Thanks for tuning in, and continue to subscribe to the channel, like the post, whether you're seeing this on LinkedIn or on YouTube. Like it, follow us. Talk to you next. CTO Does.